WNDS Sports presents Candlepin Stars and Stripes, featuring the best Candlepin bowlers from all over New England. And now in our 15th season, your hosts for Candlepin Stars and Stripes, Dick Lutz and Mike Moore.
It is week 2 of ladder series number 6 as we welcome you to Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Hi again, everybody. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin. Last week we saw Rich Clark defeat John Zappi in the first match of our series, a 6-pin thriller that went right down to the last box. And now Rich Clark tries to make it 2 in a row as he takes on Craig Holbrook in this afternoon's match. It was a real thriller last week.
It was very close. The scoring wasn't high. And this week, Rich is taking on a very formidable opponent. We haven't seen Craig for a couple of years, but he holds the 10-string record here at Leda Lanes, so he does like this bowling center.
Let's meet our bowlers this afternoon. Last week's winner, our number 5 seed, Rich Clark from Bedford, New Hampshire.
Oh, yes, you're all familiar with Rich. Winner of last year's Tournament of Champions and winner last week as well. Coming in with twin averages of 124 and 130. High single at 195, 467 at Rich's high triple. And he bowls not only at King Lanes in Manchester, but also at Boutwell in Concord.
Rich earned $75 in bonus money in addition to advancing last week with his 357 to 351 win over John Zappi. And he moves up the ladder to take on our number 3 seed, Craig Holbrook, this afternoon.
Owner of 9 tour championships, one of the top winners in the history of the game for the men in the WCBC. Current average 127, 196, high single, high triple, one of the few at 505. Like I said, he's got the highest 10-string record ever here at Leda Lanes, bowling at Hanover Bowl and Hanover, Mass.
And Craig rolled a 645 to earn his number 3 seed. That sets the stage for this afternoon's match. Let's get right to it. It's Rich Clark and Craig Holbrook as we continue with Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. We're back with this afternoon's match right after this. We are ready to go. Week 2, ladder series 6. Last week we saw number 5 seed Rich Clark oust John Zappi, and it's Craig Holbrook next in line at seed number 3. It'll be Rich Clark first to bowl here this afternoon from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, as we bring you Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.
It really did come down to the final frame. The final game last week, John Zappi getting a bad break on a split leaf. Some wood rolled off the deck and eliminated any real chance of making it, which probably would have given him the victory. So it was a great, thrilling finish.
Lefty Rich Clark
will take on lefty Craig Holbrook. 3 of our 5 bowlers from the port side in these couple of weeks.
And that will be an 8-box for Rich Clark to start out.
Triple strike jackpot, incidentally, is up to $600 should any of our bowlers, either one of them I should say, hit to 3 in a row, as you've seen twice in the last 5 weeks. There's the 1, the 3, 7, and 9. There's some wood.
Not gonna make it.
Boy, how did
Gave
those
it a
pins
shot.
miss it?
Both sides of it, front and back. And a 9-box for Rich Clark. Now, Craig Holbrook, our first look at Craig in a couple of years. He was on our first show. Number 5 seed, lost to Cookie Richards, 371 to 355. And just like Rich in the first frame of the first ball, although he's got some wood there, that helps him out a little bit. Helps him out a little bit, but not helps him make the spare. Got a nice note from Albert and Alice Goslin, who are vacationing in Arcadia, Florida. And they asked if I would get in touch with them and let them know when we will be taping in April. So by the time you see this, I will have been in touch with Albert and Alice Goslin and send them a note and tell them that we're taping. What's the date in April that we're taping, Michael?
That date will be, I'll tell you in a second here.
There's Craig Holbrook. First ball in the pocket, April 11th.
April 11th. And the first time this show is being run, as you watch it today, is April 2nd. So another week from this Tuesday.
Craig thought he had that one in the wood. Thwarted his effort. And that'll be a 10 box for Craig Holbrook. So I'll remember to send a note. They say, one thing, we're coming home the 1st of April. We'd like to see a show in Nashua and drop in for some Chinese food while we're here.
Very good.
Would it be possible to let us know when a show in April will be taped? Thank you in advance. I will be in touch, and we'll look forward to seeing them at the Kahala, which is right next door to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, where we will be heading for lunch.
Although Dick generally takes a limo, the rest of us walk. After his big bowling victory over me.
Oh, you brought it up. I didn't even bring it up. You brought it up.
I figured if I didn't, you would.
I was about to.
Beat me 98-94 at Pilgrim Lanes back in late February.
It's still gloating, I might add.
Well, I was still wearing my hospital Johnny, so I was getting a breeze, and it was very difficult to bowl. But I am requesting a rematch, as folks have heard. Whether or not you grant it is another story.
I'm considering it. I'm considering all offers. Talk to my promoter. The Kahala Chinese restaurant's right next door to Leda Lanes in Nashua. They have a lunch buffet Monday through Saturday, 11:45 to 2. Dinner buffet Thursday from 5 to 8, and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. So if you're watching this show on a Sunday afternoon, after the match, head on up to Nashua and visit the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge, 350 Amherst Street, Route 101A in Nashua, New Hampshire. I know you will be happy that you did. So Rich is open through the first 4.
Craig also looking for his first mark.
Right in the pocket. The 5-pin is still there.
Well, he winds up, doesn't he? Got a high backswing.
Mark for Craig Holbrook in the 3rd frame.
Ten-string total of 1449 is the house record here at Leda Lanes. He is the owner of that. We also had a new women's record established with the last WCBC tournament held during the winter a couple of months ago. Congratulations to Joanne Rosano, who now holds the 10-string women's record here at Leda Lanes. At the tour, she had 1268, and at the same time, Karen McCormick rolled a 1236, which, had Joanne not bowled the 1268, would have been the new high record previously held by Dottie Lawrick, a mainstay of Candlepin bowling in New Hampshire. She had a 1217, so Joanne Rosano beats that by 51 pins, and Karen McCormick won't get her name on the board, but she also beat Dottie's record the very same day. Congratulations to both those ladies. Double
mark for Craig Holbrook, and now Rich Clark looks for his first match of the first mark of the first string. Will not get it there. By now you've heard about the cruises to nowhere we're giving away after every match and as part of our bonus ball contest. An 8-box for Rich. So he's struggling here at the outset. The cruise to nowhere is courtesy of the travel connection of Plastow. 603-382-5330. The cruise departing Boston from May 31st through September. It departs every Friday at 7, returns to Boston on Sunday at 5. It's all inclusive, includes entertainment, lodging, food. The casino opens once you hit international waters, and they'll meet or beat any price at the travel connection of Plastow. For information, here's the number to call: 603-382-5330. 603-382-5330. Take a cruise to nowhere with the travel connection of Plastow, New Hampshire.
Leaves Friday and it's back on Sunday, you said? I like that.
Rich Clark struggling. 6 boxes without a mark.
That may be a record for him.
Craig Holbrook works on 2 marks in a row. Breaks up the split. Spare leave. Looking at bonus money. Opening up a big lead here in the first string. And 3 marks in a row for Craig Holbrook. He has $50 in bonus money.
Number 6 ranked WCBC Pro Bowler last year. Out of the many that bowled, he had the 6th highest total pinfall. He was also WCBC Bowler of the Year 2 years ago, 1997 and 98, as he dropped 6 on his 3rd spare.
He has a 27-pin lead box to box here early in the first string. Nice spare.
Wow.
Great shot by Craig Holbrook. That's another $25 in bonus money. And he's starting to pile it on Rich Clark here in the first string. 4 marks in a row. Rich Clark has yet to mark. That one was perfect. Forget the wood. He didn't need any wood there.
That's as clean as you're going to make that spare ever.
And Rich Clark responds.
He gets a round of applause from Craig Holbrook, who sits and watches.
The sign of a true competitor. Rich Clark struggling, watching his opponent put 4 marks in a row, comes up to the line and throws a strike. Now 2 strikes.
Very nicely done. 2 hammers back to back, setting the stage for the next time he comes up for $600.
$600 in the triple strike jackpot.
Seemed to put a little extra on that last one.
And here's Holbrook raking up the split.
Look at this.
Will it take it out in the corner there?
One
There
hit,
it goes.
2 hits.
It's got a shot. It will not go.
2 pins couldn't nudge it down. It was a left and it was a right, and the 10-pin wins.
Looking for another $25 in bonus money. He's got it. 5 marks in a row. Looking for another one. Will it go?
He doesn't need strikes if he can do 9 spare all day.
Missed that one.
Yeah, there's a nice break for Rich Clark, who has a double working right now, double strike.
118 through 8 for Craig Holbrook. Funny, the one he missed was the easiest one he
Yeah.
had. Now a $600 shot for Rich Clark. He's been there before. He hit the triple strike jackpot for $1,375 on his way to a 190 game in the Tournament of Champions competition last year. For
Nope.
$600, missed it off the head pin.
Here's a bit of a letdown, huh? 2 pins on a double strike. The second fill on the second strike is 7. He's still trailing by 26 pins in completed frames. Wood is not especially helpful, but at least it gives him something to work with against the 6 pin. 6 and the 7 split.
Not gonna make it. $110 for Rich Clark. Craig Holbrook's already at 118.
Hate to think of what that game would have been for Rich had he not thrown the double.
Holbrook on the nose. Look at this. Symmetrical.
Yep.
William Horty writes in from Medford, Massachusetts. He'd like us to get more audience participation from our live audience on the bonus ball contest at the end of the show.
In what way? Have the bowler, have the audience members throw it?
Yep.
I'd be for that.
Something to think about. 127 for Craig
I
Holbrook.
think you should have a turn throwing the bonus ball sometime.
And will it go? Look at how far that pin danced. That's the 4.5 pin that's still standing right now. Somewhere between where the 4 and the 5 would be. He finishes with a spare. 137 plus a ball. A 27 pin lead plus whatever he gets on this ball. will carry over into the second string for Craig Holbrook. And he will finish with 144. A 144 first string, a 34-pin lead for Craig Holbrook over Rich Clark as we head to the middle string of our three-string match. On Candlepin Stars and Strikes, we continue from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. All set to go, second string ready to begin. Craig Holbrook will be first to bowl as he takes a 34-pin lead in the match over Rich Clark into string number 2. Right on the head pin. Can he break up the split? Can't break up the split, but he's got a lot of wood on the deck, angled in all sorts of different directions.
And it gets better as the pin continues to roll to the left.
Key here is hitting the object pin, the 3-pin right there, which he did, and makes the spare.
Made it on the inside. So he picks up where he left off.
He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks in the first string, 5 of them in a row. Good for $100 in bonus money.
Well, he just seems a lot looser, perhaps, than Rich is today. Very confident.
Rich must be thinking about going out and plowing the lower 40 or something like that.
He'd probably rather wait a couple weeks and do that.
10 bucks and a 27.
Very busy time of the year for Clark Farms here in early April.
Rich in the pocket. Will it go? Yes, it will. Will it not? Yes, it will.
Now make up your mind.
That 9-pin was still, it was the 8-pin that was right there that wavered. There it is, still standing. There it gets hit pretty good. Hit again, and there it goes. Rich right on the nose, spread eagle.
There's a heartbreaker.
Right on the nose.
An inch either way, and you don't have that looking at you.
2 on the right. $9 for Rich Clark. If you haven't seen all the marinated meats at Haverhill Beef lately, you ought to, because they all look delicious. And if you didn't know that Haverhill Beef just gave one lucky shopper a computer just for shopping at Haverhill Beef, well, in fact, they did. As Craig Holbrook bowls on lane 34, Haverhill Beef has been in business for over 40 years, and they're conveniently located on Merrimack Street in Haverhill. And if you didn't know that Haverhill Beef now offers hot food, let me tell you that they do. You can pick up your entire home-cooked meal at Haverhill Beef with no messy cleanup. Did you know that Haverhill Beef carries everything from liver to rack of lamb? They're conveniently located on Merrimack Street in Haverhill. Make sure you stop in and see Joe Terrazzano and the family at Haverhill Beef on Merrimack Street in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Craig Holbrook, watch out, the wood coming from behind, will not get it. Nope, $9.
Our winner today receives $50 to spend at Haverhill Beef Company. And that's the case every week, so you can sit and run through the ladder here. Make yourself a couple $100 worth of great eating here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And with Easter a couple of weeks away, might be a good time to get that ham reservation made.
And the big Easter bowling match that takes place here at Leda Lanes every year.
Easter Sunday singles. Should mention that. Don't know if you have the sheet on that, Dick, but it's Easter Sunday is just a couple of weeks away.
20 strings, is it?
It is, and it's generally about a $5,000, I think, first prize.
You're right.
I will, during our commercial break, run up and get a sheet just to remind everybody.
Rich, a half Worcester. And that will be an 8-box for Rich Clark. After the strike in the first frame, Rich has had some trouble getting himself an opportunity to mark. It's on the head pin right there. There they go. Second strike of the second string for Rich Clark. As we go to break, you'll watch it again as Craig Holbrook leads Rich Clark in this second match of our 6th ladder series on Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. Here comes the strike on WNDS TV. Craig Holbrook ready to go as we near the halfway point of the match. He has a lead over Rich Clark, pending what Rich does on his strike. As Craig Holbrook tries to match the strike. Got the information on that Easter Sunday Classic.
I took a hike up to the counter during our commercial break.
You're all out of breath.
I'm in great shape. We have the 12th annual Easter Sunday Classic. It's a single scratch event, as Dick pointed out a few moments ago. 20 strings. It's a 20-string tournament with a top prize guaranteed of $5,000. For those who would like to come down and see it, the event gets underway Easter Sunday morning. Well, actually at noon, so you don't have to get up too early.
The crack of noon.
The crack of noon, that's right. And 102 bowler limit, so there is still time for you to get in. Of course, you should be a pretty good bowler because it's a scratch event. And the best bowlers in the game will be here at Leda Lanes, Easter Sunday, the 23rd. Just come and watch. Big money on the line. It's, I guess you'd call it a bowling marathon. Generally $13,000 in prize money total, $5 grand going to the top bowler.
Rich Clark now trying to fill the strike. That's a tough leave. Piece of wood in the back. He tried to make it. Put 7 in the strike. And an 8-box.
It has been a struggle, no doubt. Rich has had his moments. He's actually, I think, had only strikes as far as marks go today, right?
2 in the first string back-to-back and 2 here in the second string.
But no spares.
No spares.
Although this is, for a bowler of his caliber, pretty much a given.
For a bowler in his position, it's pretty much a
boy, that's for sure.
Ought to make, a must make. And he'll take the spare.
Get a little ground back as he gets a spare opposite of Craig Holbrook 10.
So Rich trails by 38 pins in the match, less whatever he makes on his next ball. Now Craig Holbrook breaks up the split and has pretty good wood there to help him out.
He breaks up a lot of splits. He just has a very lively ball, which shouldn't surprise anybody because he's got quite a list of accolades in the WCBC over the years, including 9 tour victories.
And he picks up the spare.
Rookie of the Year, Dick, in 1987 and 88. Bowler of the Year, 97 and 98. Number 6 in the rankings last year.
Holbrook working on a mark. Puts 8 in the spare, and the wood is perfect.
You gotta love that, huh?
I dare say you could make the shot. No, the wood is rolling away.
It's not as good as it was.
You know, got to hit the wood right on the red stripe.
Hit it on the stripe.
Put it right on the stripe. Perfect shot for Craig Holbrook. 2 marks in a row, a chance for bonus money when he comes to the line, and more importantly, putting the hammer down on Rich Clark. Rich off the head pin that time. Puts 6 in the spare. Needs to hit the head pin here. This is key. It's a nice spare for Rich Clark. That's a beauty. And now he'll have a chance at some bonus money. Perfect shot placed right between the 1 and the 2 pins. Well done by Rich Clark.
Hard to believe it took him a game and a half to get his first spare. Now he's got a pair of them.
Looking for bonus money here, right on the head pin. But he can't bust up the spare, the split.
He needs to make this just to stay even in this game with Craig Holbrook.
Not gonna do it. $99 for Rich Clark. Craig Holbrook has 100 plus a ball. So he will add to his lead in the match with whatever he gets on this first ball, filling the spare. And it's just a 5.
The top seed in this ladder, we'll see him 2 weeks from today, is Chris Bovair, our usual in-house scorekeeper. Today, Paul Willett fills in for him. We thank Paul for doing a fine job. For all the folks in the gallery and the bowlers to, it's easier to watch that than the television monitors for the score.
$10. He's at 115. He had a 144 in the first string. Right in the pocket, the 5 pin will go. The 10 pin remains. Trying to finish strong. Bounced it down, takes the spare.
Checking to see if he hit a speed bump. That was a skip lob, perfectly legal shot.
The foul line jumped up at it.
That's it.
$125 plus this ball for Craig Holbrook. And this ball is a 7, 8. And there they go, continuing to fall. 133 second string to go with a 144 first string. 277 after 2 for Craig Holbrook. Rich Clark has a mountain to climb. Needs to start climbing it right here in these final 2 frames. There is number 1. Picture perfect strike.
And his 5th of the day.
Just doesn't get any prettier than that. Right in the pocket, and there they go. Now Rich Clark again looking for number 2.
It's a makeable split, but the 310 is easier when you've got some wood in between the 2 pins.
Oh, wrapped around the 10 pin.
That looked good.
Sure did.
And he'll still lose this match.
117. Check it, 127 for Rich Clark in the second string, and a 2-string total for Rich of 237. It's a 40-pin lead in the match for Craig Holbrook over Rich Clark, heading into the 3rd and final string. And we're coming right back to Leda Lanes in Nashua as you watch Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Rich Clark will be first to bowl in the 3rd string. He trails Craig Holbrook by 40 pins with 1 string to go. Dick Lutz with Mike Morin and our entire WNDS TV crew here at Leda Lanes in Nashua, bringing Candlepin Stars and Strikes your way. Our director Ken Knight, working audio Larry Taylor, Dave McCarthy's on tape, Kevin LaFond has the computer graphics, on video is Paul Hunter, and our camera crew of Jeff Garcia, Bob Dole, and Jimmy McLean here at Leda Lanes in Nashua, watching Rich Clark open the 3rd string with a spare. Don't count him out of the match.
That would be a mistake to ever count Rich Clark out. He just always finds a way to get it done.
Now, this wood is,
I don't like it.
Problematic. Missed it.
Well, he would have hit it so lightly it probably would have spun across to the other side and left the 7 pin standing.
That's what he wanted to do. Big miss for Rich right there. And now Craig Holbrook.
The Massachusetts Bowling Association state tournaments get underway today, this being April 2nd for those of you watching our first run, and it is at a variety of different bowling centers, too many for me to mention now, and I'm not totally positive that you can still register, but check with your local association, your local bowling center proprietor. The tournament with various singles, doubles, all events, and teams runs through the 4th of June, and the youth division of the NBA State Championship starts on the 29th of April. I would imagine there's still time to get your kids registered for that if it hasn't been done with their local youth bowling coach. So NBA gets things underway today for the next 2 months. $65,000 total purse money. Many will share in that over the next few months.
38-year-old Craig Holbrook from East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. He and his wife Rose have been married for 12 years. They have 2 children, 9-year-old Mara and 6-year-old Victoria. And a spare for Craig Holbrook in the second frame. So both bowlers with marks in their first 2 boxes in the 3rd string. Holbrook holding on to his 40-pin lead. Another pocket shot for Rich Clark. Not a lot to show for it. The wood certainly helps.
You want to go more for the 5-pin here since the wood is actually not covering it.
That's a spare for Rich Clark. His second spare in 3 boxes in the 3rd string. I want to thank our sponsor Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan and now Honda all of Salem. And Rich Clark crossing over to the Brooklyn side. Can he break it up? Yes, he can.
Thank you.
The Rockingham family of dealers invite you to stop in and see their large selection of quality cars and state-of-the-art service. Rockingham Honda, located at the Route 28 and Route 111 intersection in Salem, is the newest member of the Rockingham family of dealerships. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan Honda in Salem, New Hampshire.
And our friend Emmett Horgan at the helm.
Richie missed the spare.
Ouch. He got a tremendous break. He had the 5 and the 7 in addition to the 10. Couldn't capitalize.
Very costly miss there. He's had 2 makeable spares that he's missed here in the 3rd string. Craig Holbrook's working on a spare. He'll break up the split. Will that 1-pin still stand? It will. That moved about 3 inches,
yeah,
maybe more.
Actually helps him out a little bit.
Cuts the angle down. Yep. He makes the spare.
He didn't even hit the head pin, and he almost got the head pin on the first ball. Terrific break, and it puts him ahead quickly in this match with another mark.
He breaks up the split again. Just a single pin up there. The 4-pin remains for Craig Holbrook, looking for $50 in bonus money. He already has $100 in bonus money in this match. Add another 50 to it. So we go to the break. Holbrook working on 3 marks in a row and in a commanding position as we head down the home stretch of this match between Rich Clark and Craig Holbrook. We continue with Candlepin Stars and Strikes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire on WNDS TV. Where are you watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV? We'd love to hear from you from all over New England. We have viewers sending us mail. Why don't you send us a note and let us know where you are and what you're doing while you're watching Candlepin Stars and Strikes. WNDS TV, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038 is the mailing address. We would love to hear from you, our loyal and devoted fans of Candlepin Stars and Strikes, as the ratings continue to impress week after week. And we know you're out there, and we know you're loyal and dedicated, and we'd love to hear from you. And Rich Clark starts us off in the 3rd string. He's halfway through the 3rd string in the 5th frame of the 3rd string, trailing by 38 pins plus a ball. Rich is just off a little bit. just enough to miss shots like that.
That's all it takes. That fourth frame single pin spare, I think, said it all today. Had he made that, I think he'd have had a much better shot, but that just demoralized him. Spare he should not have missed.
She's right on the head pin there. The 4 and the 10. Wood on the deck.
Well, they didn't exactly spray like he had hoped. And the 10 pin remains for the 10 box.
Another 10 for Rich Clark. 10s won't make it, though.
Time is running out for our reigning Tournament of Champions bowler, who edges closer to not being involved in that tournament, which starts in just a couple weeks here on WNDS TV 50.
Craig Holbrook wants to be there. He puts 9 in the spare and looks for more bonus money.
He'd like to avenge his loss to Dave Richards of a couple years ago, whose only appearance in recent memory on Stars and Strikes. Our first show of a couple seasons back.
4th mark in a row for Craig Holbrook. Another $25 in bonus money. He has $175 in bonus money in the bank this afternoon.
Our runner-up today will take home $175. Winner goes on to bowl Sean Baker next week.
Holbrook will put 8 in the mark.
I believe Sean Baker was in our Tournament of Champions last season. He is a fireballer. You'll enjoy him. Well, there's the 5 and the 7. Some wood at about a 45-degree angle in front of the 5 pin by a few inches. Hoping to cap it and then take both pins with the sliding wood, but that didn't happen.
Not gonna make it.
So a 13-pin lead for Craig in this game, 53 in the match overall. 53 pins in 4 boxes for Rich Clark as the door closes more tightly. Yes, indeed, Sean Baker was in the Tournament of Champions, as we mentioned, beating Gary Santora in his first week and then going on to lose to Don Richmond in his second appearance. So he'd like to get in on that party train again by beating Chris Bovair.
Actually, Sean beat Don Richmond and then lost to Rich Clark.
I'm sorry, you're right. He was on for 3 weeks. And that was the week that Rich had his triple strike in the 190. You stand corrected. So it was a 3-week run last year in the Tournament of Champions for Sean Baker, who you'll see next week bowling probably Craig Holbrook.
The time is running out on Rich Clark as he spares in the 8th frame.
Yeah, barring a total collapse on the part of Craig Holbrook, Rich would pretty much need to run the table with strikes.
He'd really have to start bowling like Mike Moran right now to do that.
Don't do that to him. Thought you liked him.
Well, the wood in the middle, rolling to the right a little bit now. Craig waiting for it to settle. And it looks like that's where it's going to be. And he'll just take them one at a time. That'll be a 9 box. He's at 100. It's almost mathematically impossible at this point. Not quite. Virtually impossible. Now it is. With that mark, that just about seals the fate of Rich Clark.
Craig Holbrook will be well over 400.
Watch it again. Watch the delayed reaction of the wood as it comes off of the deck and then off of the side wall. Rich working on a spare. A backdoor strike for Rich Clark.
Never hit the head pin. That was just kind of a disgusted kind of throw on his part. And look at this. Well, he could at least go for some $600 triple strike money, perhaps.
Some bonus money of sorts. He's got two marks in a row now, looking for some bonus money. Again, he missed the head pin.
Oh,
right through. And that'll be a 4-box to finish, a 123. Third string for Rich Clark, a 3-string total of 360. Craig Holbrook already has 387. And Holbrook with a mark.
wasn't that a beauty, huh?
That's his first strike of the match.
For the whole day?
Yep.
Wow.
That's why he was so excited. Right through the head pin. It's over 400. He put it right through the opening. It's 5 in the strike.
The heck was that?
He is at 140. And he finishes with a 144, third string, and a 3-string total of 412 for Craig Holbrook. He beats Rich Clark 421 for Craig Holbrook, and he beats Rich Clark 421 to 360 to advance to next week's match. So we'll come back to meet our bowlers when we return to Leda Lanes in Nashua when Candlepin Stars and Strikes continues on WNDS TV. Craig Holbrook was the model of consistency as he rolls a 421 triple to beat Rich Clark 421 to 360.
Yeah, it was a very atypical Rich Clark performance. Didn't have a spare till the middle of the second game, had a number of strikes, but filling in between the strikes posed a problem today and just really couldn't get on track, which is unfortunate.
We'll bring him out right now. Our runner-up this afternoon, Rich Clark from Bedford, New Hampshire. Richard, I guess if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to a 420 triple.
Yeah, he bowled great. I knew I was going to have to bowl better than the first match, and I just could never get it going. I made too many mistakes, and, you know, I knew I had to be a lot better than I was, and he deserved it. So.
At the start of the third string, you had an opportunity to put 4 marks together. You had a mark 9, mark 9. Those 2 9s really hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't that sharp, and you know, I don't think even with those 2, the way Craig was throwing the ball, you know, he deserved it. So hopefully for a lefty, he can keep it going.
Well, it was an opportunity for you to defend your Tournament of Championship last year. We'll look forward to seeing you again. Rich Clark from Bedford, New Hampshire.
See you, Rich.
Our runner-up here this afternoon, and now Craig Holbrook will roll a ball in the bonus ball contest, and we'll try to match him up with a winner at home, and we'll see if we can get a lucky winner at home. You bowl a ball right there on lane 33.
It's been a couple years. He's forgotten how this thing works,
and we'll
I
go
guess.
with the bonus ball contest. And it is a 4.
That's ugly.
Yeah. All right, Michael, see if there's a 4 in there somewhere.
I don't think so.
$40 in the bonus ball jackpot.
I'll try for a 4.
And we have, this is V. Majewski of Revere, Massachusetts, and with $40 in our bonus ball jackpot, what's the number say, Michael?
4!
A winner!
Yeah!
$40 for V. Majewski of Revere, Massachusetts. All right, let's pick out the second card for 10 strings of bowling at Leda Lanes and see if we can
I don't believe
get
that.
another prize to another lucky winner at home. This is another Petruski. This is Maureen Petruski. I don't think it's the same name, is it? No.
No.
No, Majewski Petruski. We have a Petruski this time from Lynn, Massachusetts. 10 strings of bowling to Maureen Petrowski of Lynn, Massachusetts. And now we're going to give away our Cruise to Nowhere from the Travel Connection of Plaistow, New Hampshire. And the winner of the Cruise to Nowhere
Not a Polish
is
surname this
Mark
time.
Hodgkins from Derry, New Hampshire. Mark, congratulations. You win the Cruise to Nowhere courtesy of the Travel Connection of Plaistow, New Hampshire. Let's bring Craig Holbrook up, our winner here this afternoon. Congratulations to Craig Holbrook with a 421. We have $175 in bonus money, a $50 gift certificate to Haverhill Beef, and you'll be back again next week. You were the model of consistency here this afternoon. 144, 137, 144. A terrific triple.
Oh, thank you. I was happy to get all the spares. I'd stay away from the strikes for a while, but, you know, I had a lot of fun.
You look like you were a little bit shocked that you got a strike late in the match after all those spares.
Actually, the fans in the crowd were starting to get on me. Can't you throw a strike? So I got one. I was happy with that.
Well, congratulations to you. We'll see you next week. Craig Holbrook, our winner here this afternoon, and he will be here next week. We continue to climb up the ladder.
Exactly. Sean Baker, who was in the Tournament of Champions, as we mentioned, for 3 weeks last season, is hoping to squeak in. Well, we're down to our last couple bowlers in the 6th and final ladder, so we'll find out in the next 2 weeks who the Tournament of Champion number 6 seed will be.
And we look forward to seeing you as well. For Mike Morin and our entire WNDS TV 50 crew from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, I'm Dick Lutz. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Candlepin Stars and Strikes.